today. And as you can see, we've had some pretty one-sided games. This last one, though, this is our big game of today. This is the one that I think may be hardest to judge unless you're, somebody in the middle of this desk who plays for them. But we are going to have Oops take on Elevate to round things off today. That is a good game at any stage, and it's the final battle, so all of these things count. As we know, Oops and Elevate, and also in that group are Rush. So this is another game where it really matters to get this win now, today, and not be perhaps needing. You obviously need every win you can get, but Russia, such a difficult opponent. This is the one you want to chalk up today and feel good going into the later days of this tournament without thinking, now we've got to come back from that.
Yeah, Russia's certainly not the tank you want, or not the team that you want to be leaving your spot in the quarterfinals up to. Former two-time world champions, playing against Oops against Elevate. Both of those teams are really, really going to want that slot through.
So what we're talking about here, Oops, Tough Giraffes. Giraffes? Where's that come from? Tough Giraffes. Second, really, out of EU in terms of for the season, but in the extended season finals, they came out third and fourth there, as you know well. And their opponents, Rush in this group, you know them as Na'Vi from previous matches. As you said, previous world champions, no longer as Na'Vi, but basically Na'Vi in all but name. That's who Rush are. And then Elevate are here as the #1 team out of North America. And they have had incredible seasons back to back. They were undefeated 14-0 in a previous season, and then they've come here 13-1, and that one was the game we talked about earlier on when they lost a match to Top Tier, who was the only team who took one off of them. Weird though, really, that Top Tier beat them 5-4 in overtime when Elevate beat Top Tier 5-0 on another day. So that was a strange slip up for Elevate, and perhaps we can't draw too much into an odd loss for them. But either way, one match lost in 2 seasons. That's a really great performance, and yet at the grand finals earlier on this year, we expected great things from them and didn't see them in the very last stages of things.
Well, we saw Elevate get into the semi-final, I believe. They beat out EO Gaming in the quarters, and that was again with the tiebreaker. Really, I watched that match live, and I thought that the gameplay wasn't really up to scratch. Just playing against, I don't know, I would have said an equally skilled team in EO Gaming. A lot of training put in by both sides. Really, they should have come up a little bit more. But back-to-back season finals on NA, undisputed kings of NA at the moment. And against Oops, who I think I'll let Milan talk about Oops.
Yeah.
Perhaps knows a little bit more about them than me.
But before you tell us a little bit about some guys you know well, here's Comps to tell you a bit more about Elevate.
So the main reason why we are #1 in North America is that we put more time in than other teams. We practice a lot more than they do, and I think that shows off in our gameplay due to the fact that we're able to compete at a higher level and just be consistent. Our practice is different than other teams in North America. We practice during the day, so we practice different regions. We have a lot of European and Russian practices that are during the afternoon, and then sometimes during the night we'll practice other North American teams. So we practice not only North American teams, but teams from other regions. For practices, we prefer playing the European teams, just because I think we are at the same level. So it's a lot more effective with our time and their time, because we get a lot more out of it. Practicing other regions like the Russian teams, they're a lot better than we are, but I still think we learn a lot from those ones. But overall, I'd say I'd prefer the European teams. So for the group stages, I mean, we were put into the group of death, as they call it, just because of the skill level that's in this group. Our approach for tackling this task would be to focus on Oops. We believe they're the weaker of the 2 teams that we face. So if we beat them, then we're guaranteed out of groups. As for Rush, we've never played them before, so we don't know what to expect, but we'll give it our all for that match. So when we lost for the first time in over a year, it wasn't really a bad feeling, because we had 2 of our starting players that weren't there that day. So for us, it's just like, it's fine. We just didn't have our players there. So we had to play with substitutes, and I even had to play, and as a manager, that's not my job. So overall, finishing in an overtime loss, it's not that bad, especially considering that we didn't have our two of our best players not there that day. So other than practicing, like as a team, I think we're very cohesive. For example, after the past Grand Finals in June, we decided to take a month-long vacation together in Europe. So that was a nice little team building exercise. So we've basically been traveling the world together for the last few years, and we're looking forward to keep that up. For the fans, I mean, I'd like to say thank you guys for supporting us. You know, we wouldn't be doing this without you guys, so thank you very much.
Comps there from Elevate. Ever the professional, he was exactly like that out at the Grand Finals in May when he was presenting and talking so confidently about his team. He knows who they are. He knows how good they are. Here's a man who knows how good their opposition is. The other Myland has joined us on the desk. Welcome, Myland.
Yeah, thanks.
Take us through these guys on stage who you know so much about.
Well, Oops, my boy, starting up with Milos. Actually, the face of Oops kind of has changed within 2 years, going from 5 Germans to 5 Polish players actually now. So this roster here consisting of 5 Polish players and 2 Dutch players. Yeah, obviously a very big drawback here for Oops is their team captain, Insane, had some visa issues, so he could not attempt this event. Deadzone, which you can see in the background there, will be replacing him just for this event here. Yeah, Camille also one of the star players. We know Deadzone putting his glasses on. Yeah, deal with it, Deadzone. Yeah, he does that every time. Great job there by the Dutch guy. Also, Deadzone, one of the most experienced guys in the league, playing for Penta or having played for Penta, and now stepping in here for Oops. Creator, one of the newcomers actually, not so experienced but very highly skilled individual player. Also, the other Dutch guy here in the lineup, and yeah, Raging Potato. Another Polish guy coming actually from out of range before that season. Yeah, also so much experience. Raging played together with Deadzone in Penta. And yeah, Deja, the all-star, the damage farmer. He has always been there, he'll always be there. Yeah, you know him from randoms, you know him from streams. An absolute beast when it comes to individual skill. And yeah, he managed to integrate well into the team. So yeah, very strong lineup here.
Thank you for that, Mylan. Yes, you know your boys very well. Here's a bit more about the Tough Giraffes.
Oops, the Tough Giraffes is an up-and-coming team from the old world, holding the record of the longest win streak this season. Oops likes gaining momentum and riding it to victory. Expectations predicted a 4th or 5th place result, but the Giraffes broke the odds. Their confident victory over Gohard was considered luck, but the second game week matches against Ding and Kaznakru brought the doubters in line. After that success, Oops seemed unstoppable mid-season. Teams were swept aside, bringing their winning streak up to 8 before they were stopped. And although Gohard, Ding and Kaznakru got revenge in their second match against the Giraffes, it was too little too late, as they had enough points to secure second place, only behind Kaznakru. However, Oops will be without their hot-headed and extravagant commander Insane for the final battle. Grouped with the multi-time world champions Rush and North America's first seed Elevate, can Europe's third seed Oops adjust in time?
Can they adjust in time? Can they, Mylan? Can they adjust in time?
Well, I have to mention here that Insane is the playmaker for Oops.
Yeah.
He's the guy who's most involved with all the tactics, who does most of the tactics, who also makes the calls or the crucial calls in the crucial situations. And it's going to be really hard, but actually I don't want to take anything away from Oops here. We've seen that also happen to other teams during the season. Just looking over to Ding or Kazna. Ding without Papakuritz now, and Kazna without Stefan, but those teams actually performed really, really well throughout the season, so maybe it's not that bad.
Yeah, you're right. You're right to point it out, and it's not something that anybody would seriously think, oh, he's making excuses for his team. You lose your IGL, that is a big problem to deal with. That is that is not a small oh, we'll just get on with it without them. Even if you've rehearsed and played and practiced and scrimmed and you know all your stuff together as a unit, you still need somebody who tells you how to adjust. And we saw earlier on today, didn't we, Annihilator? If you can't adjust to things on the fly, that is a real problem in tanks.
Yeah, some teams are really good at adjusting on the fly, like Tornado, for example. Every battle, it just seems to be dynamic, it's different, it's so fast. And I think Oops, without Insane, without that structure, perhaps some of the players will contribute more and bring more into the battle, and perhaps that's actually going to help them in this game. Like as Mal mentioned, Ding lost Karitz and actually got stronger and won the season finals without him because of a joint effort from the team players all working together even harder than they were before. So it's potentially even an advantage against Elevate.
Yeah, realistically seeing, that's the only option that you have. Your playmaker is gone. You just cannot go to the finals unprepared. So yeah, and also talking from personal experience, if Insane is not there, like maybe he has stuff to do and he would not be there for 1 week, all the players would kind of stick together, form out stuff.
So it's not the first time they've played without him.
Exactly. Yeah, and I think we have the kind of guys in the team, especially looking at Milos, looking at Kamil. They know how to do tactics. They know how to lead. So I think those two.
Are they going to step in for Insane?
Exactly. Maybe also Deadzone, who did most of the leading back in Penta 2 years ago. But yeah, I think it's this trio that are going to make most of the leading.
And they have LAN experience, extended season finals out in Katowice, what, 2-3 weeks ago, wherever that was, about 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
You were on another analyst desk there as well, but proud of your guys' performance?
Well, not really. I've played a lot of trainings with them before that, and the trainings were a lot better. Like, it just worked out really well at the trainings. Like, everything worked according to plan, and it just all, I don't know, went down the drain at the season finals.
Do you know why? Did you talk to the players afterwards?
Well, what I've heard from, or I talked to Insane mostly, the usual excuse, it was a lot of unlucky things that happened there, and I really have to agree with him. But yeah, luck is no excuse, so I don't really know what happened, and I'm just hoping that it's not going to happen today.
We'll find out.
Even just before that season final, I mean, we had a number of trainings scheduled with Oops as Go Hard, and yeah, they played much better then.
Here's their opposition. Annihilator, take us through the North American champions.
So we just saw Dodoma there. Here's Oxmathis. These guys are some of the key players here. Oxmathis particularly playing the heavies, the big hitters, the damage dealers. Brett just rocking back in his chair beside him. Chilling again, one of the damage dealers, I think more on the heavies and the 50Bs and stuff like that.
He's testing the springs on that, isn't he?
Testing the suspension.
Is he nervous, but yet confident, right?
Yeah. That's hard to judge.
I mean, they look chill. They look cool at the moment. I don't think they've got any particular nerves. Hopefully they've rested up from some of the long trips they had. And here we see a big pickup positive from Eclipse, who played in Eclipse, but is more famously known from teams such as Ding.
Right, and he's dropping the name of another team in front of us right now as well.
So he's, big player. He was always a carry, always a big damage dealer, playing stuff like bat shots, a little bit of solo play. You didn't have to manage him the whole time. He was always making a really big impact in the games. Canadian Impact as well. Like, I mean, we've got, it's an NA all-star lineup. Every name is big, particularly on the NA scene. They're all MVPs in their own right. Wallhacks, the in-game leader, the main tactician, doing all of the in-game calls, the pushes, and playing.
Looking so confident.
Yeah.
Looking confident and comfortable. Playing some of the more unusual tanks when they pop up. And Vetro here beside him on the end.
No, we're staying with Wallhacks. Oh no, we are leaving Wallhacks. I thought we were just going to hang on him for a lot longer. Vetro, there you are.
Playing some of, again, the damage dealers. Like, they've got loads of NA damage dealers for randoms, basically. All of the top ones are almost in this team. So yeah, big names, and they've got a lot to show here today.
Looking forward to seeing what they've got against Oops. These are Elevate.
Elevate is the top team of the American region. In the season of 2016-2017, they were unbeaten for 28 matches in a row and was in the top 4 at the last Grand Finals. The autumn season for Elevate went without any big concerns. They confidently defeated the main competitors, Eclipse and Dare Rising, both home and away. Such a comfortable road to the LAN Finals promised them an easy win and the title of champions. But this was not to be. At first they experienced a very hard semi-final against Dare Rising, and then they faced an unexpected finalist, Top Tier, who had clearly prepared for their match against America's best team. Despite these difficult matches, Elevate managed to beat their rivals and took the 3rd champion's title for the team's cabinet. At the final battle, Elevate enters a very difficult group with legendary Rush and Europe's Oops. Can Elevate pass beyond the group stage and raise their flag at the tournament?
That's Elevate. I suppose I was a little bit unfair about them earlier on, saying we've not seen them maybe progress as far as we should. We had big expectations for them at the Grand Finals. You're right, 3rd, 4th. I mean, that's an incredible performance. And but for a team who are perhaps here with like the best record of their domestic season, they are easily got the most wins of a season of any of the teams who are here, and they've done it twice. And yeah, we had comps earlier on explaining, oh well, you know, a couple of our players went there, and I had to step in on that one we lost. If it wasn't for that, like we'd be here with this ridiculous something like 28-0 run. And in the extended season we've just had, their map difference was, their round difference was 53. They came out of that 69-16 is what Elevate came here with from the last season alone. That is a huge performance. Now we will get into the maps. I think that's coming to us now between Oops and Elevate. And there we go. Cliff and Prokhorov are out. Himmelsdorf and Mines followed up. Then we banned out Sand River by Elevate. Ghost Town was banned out by Oops. And Mjorvanka and Ruinberg got the picks after that.
Well, we with Oops, or Oops in general, we never really banned one map. We kinda tried to play all of the maps. So we don't really mind the bans. I think the strongest ban here for Oops actually Ghost Town. Ghost Town wasn't really a weak map for us, but I think when the initial shot caller is missing there, being insane, and on Ghost Town it really comes down to like decision making, fast rotations, and teamwork. And if there is the crucial shot caller missing, then I think the Ghost Town ban is justified here in that situation.
Oops are undefeated on Ruinberg, so if it gets to that stage...
And they've only played 8 matches there, so...
No, don't undo yourselves. I'm just going to say you're undefeated on that. It could be 100 matches, Myland. Don't explain it away. Elevate, though, as maps go, like, it's hard to pick what to do against them. What are you making of this Annihilator?
Well, I'm just looking at the second pick there from Oops Moravanka. I don't really get it as a second pick. You know, like, are they really that confident on it?
Well, it's more like every other team is not confident on that map at all, or usually doesn't play it at all. So maybe some sort of surprise pick here. And I mean, we've also trained Moro, not quite a lot, but we've trained it. So maybe they went for the surprise pick there.
Is there something special coming from Oops on a map that we know most of the teams don't really like to play?
Well, maybe
you couldn't
I guess
possibly tell us, could you? Look at you.
Well, even if I knew, I wouldn't tell.
There you go. There you go. All right, so it's predictions time. Well, we know where you're going. I am going to break this friendship that we've carefully developed over the course of the show so far. I'm expecting Elevate for this one, but I hope that Oops give them a really, really strong fight. I would like to say 5-4, but I'm going to say 5-3 for Elevate and a small apology.
All right, I'll take that apology. But yeah, of course, I have to go with my boys here with the Oops. And I'm also going to, I also think it's realistically going to be close. Maybe not a tiebreaker, but I'm going to go with a 5-3 in favor of Oops.
Fair enough.
I think it's going to go right to the wire. I think a tiebreaker all the way 5-4 to Oops.
Ah, there we go. I like it. I would love to see this match go to a tiebreaker. I want these two teams who we know are great here to show us everything they've got. And particularly we've had two fine ones, very one-sided games. Nobody wants a really one-sided match out of this. That wouldn't do either team justice. Let's see, though, whether Tomato the Lobster would like any more screen time. And he likes to milk it a bit. Let's see how long it's going to take him to choose a winner for this one. Mylan never lied to you anyway. So eventually, after all the fish who were basically Tomato the Lobster's entourage, they all went, oh, he's going over there, let's go over there, let's go over there. He knows what he's talking about. Elevate then, told you.
Well, I don't trust the lobster, so...
Any lobsters or just ones named after fruit?
Yeah, I don't trust tomato, but I do trust the fish, you know. Initially, they went over to
like,
Oops and tried to confuse him.
Definitely, he did. WOTfinals.com, as you see on your screen, is where you need to go. Let us know your predictions and win brilliant things as well. Remember, we're back here again tomorrow and Friday and Saturday and Sunday with loads of tank action over 5 days in a row here, and then back the following weekend on the 23rd of December. That is where we'll be bringing you the grand final of the final battle of 2017, and we will figure out who's going to get there over the course of the next 5 days. But every match counts, and here we go with this one then. Oops against Elevate. Very excited to see what happens in this contest, and we'll go over to Hector, and we'll go over to Mojo, and we'll go over to this match.
Thanks very much for that one there, Matt. So, Mojo, it is, you know, the highlight match of the day, one of the biggest matches of the group stages. We're going to get Oops versus Elevate here.
I think it's going to be a strong match, probably close one, something like Melend or Niall said, possibly even to the tiebreaker, to the wire. Elevate coming with a strong lineup, maybe even stronger than with their season, because they have positive now, super experienced players in offlines, guy that really contributed a lot to plenty of titles than Ding held, and he might actually even help them here. On the other hand, we are missing Insane, but Dead Zone is there to help out, so we will see how will that work out in their chemistry, in team chemistry.
Yeah, from the lineup of Elevate, it looks like Positives came in and replaced external 007, who's been an extremely strong player for Elevate throughout the season. It was generally Oxmanthus, Dodoma, and External who were like the kind of key damage players. Dodoma and External playing on the autoloaders. Wally, team captain and tactician for the team. So I mean, Elevate, they want to show everyone, you know, that the grand finals last time wasn't a fluke. I mean, they got through to semis. They want to show everyone that they can go all the way. And at the same time, Oops getting into another international tournament, they're like, hey guys, like I know everyone talks about Ding and Kazna, but we're just as capable.
Yeah, Ding, I mean, Oops is coming from a strong region. EU region is quite strong now, while on NA region, Elevate is pretty much alpha male dominant team.
Yeah.
By far. And it's again questionable what we always say, like who can you train regularly with, how much?
Yeah.
What are your opportunities to enhance your abilities? Because you must always train, you must always become better over time. You cannot just like say, okay, we are the best in this region, because then when you come to international competition, you get stomped.
Yeah, you've always got to test yourself, and that's something that we've mentioned a few times. It kind of is a bit unfortunate for the APAC and NA teams in that they can't have the regular practice or scrims, if you like, against the European and Russian teams. And we're going to be starting off here in Himmelsdorf, then going to Mainz, Murovanka and Runeberg. Already here, quite a super kind of heavy lineup here for Oops on the defense.
I would say this is actually quite a lighter setup, because we have two Super Conquerors and 1-1-1-3. We had a super heavy, if you remember, on one of the first matches with like 5 type 5s,
yeah,
2
getting stuck in there.
So this is like a light cavalry compared to that.
So Oops, they're going to be red side defending, and it's going to be Elevate going to be on the blue side on attack. Interesting thing to note actually at the start, any American viewers will be interested to hear it in a way. Comps, when he was doing that interview at the start, Comps actually to get here to Moscow for this tournament was actually delayed at one point during his travels for 40 hours. Some of the American players basically leaving an American snowstorm to come to Europe and hit a Europe snowstorm right dead in the middle of it. So I think Comps actually spent something like 40 hours in
well, that's called rich travel experience, but there we go. The Oops took the rail control on 1-2 line, 1-1-3, pushing down there as expected, covered closely by two Super Conquerors. Why Super Conquerors? Well, because of DPM and because they can shoot APCR and the rail will not obstruct them that much. So we have now them controlling that while Elevate is slowly progressing all over the map and trying to decide what will actually do. They're gonna appear to peek down with Type 5s and see what they can do there first before they do anything else.
Some speculative shots there from the Type 5 heavy combo of Oxmathis and Enemy Lord Brett. Previously was something else Lord Brett, which I had in my head and I've completely forgotten right now. But he had a name change throughout the season. Now, Godlike Brett it was, and now he's Enemy Lord. So he's gone from a Godlike to an Enemy Lord. Nice shot there from I'm going to say Floric. A little joke there for everyone from the EU. It is Kerolov. I did it again, Mojo. I still got it wrong.
Kerol, come on.
Shoot me,
you
please.
Can do it.
Kerolf. There we go.
There you go.
Floric. I'm just going to stick with that. That is his name backwards. Actually, it's his surname.
It's you, Tim.
It's it'll do me fine. Right, so he's still holding this area. Very dangerous position to be, knowing that he's got 2 Type 5 heavies below him. Raging Potato is going to come over to help him. How much damage can he do? Because Brett is kind of getting himself caught out a little bit.
Well, so far, Kerolf is doing quite well. He already connected 1 shot and didn't take anything in return. Gave an info, or essential info, to his team. But of course, these mastodons of Type 5s have quite a lot of HP to play around with. And this is just a part of the opening strat, because now they can actually pressure the other part of the map if they desire so.
Kerolf and Raging Potato holding station here at the bottom of the rails. The rest of their team is just kind of spread out in a kind of typical defensive situation here for
A massive
Himmelsdorf.
68-1 damage done on AG, but
Oxmanthus taking some damage here on his Type 5 heavy. He did have a damaged ammo rack, repaired that immediately. Dodoma taking some damage in his Super Conqueror, and a little bit of damage being returned back here to Deka and the E4.
Look the amount of AG shells that actually Raging has here.
Sneaky. Somebody was talking about shooting in that area earlier on, underneath the front tracks.
It's a normal thing to do, but as you can see, it doesn't do much damage, but it does buy a lot of time and annoy the enemy.
Brett continues to bleed HP here, continues to take module damage on the tracks. Vetro now coming down off the top of the hill. Can the Type 5 heavy, I think it's Dead Zone back there, get a shot into him as he peeks around this corner.
Well, we have now these 2 Type 5s on almost 50% HP. Deha did connect that 1 shot on Type 5, which was quite a good one, almost 800 damage, but he took half of his HP. I mean, he lost half of his HP in exchange. Oof.
Oh, the Type 5 heavy. Even when you miss, you still hit a nice return shot there from Kerolf, hitting back in there for 443 back into Enemy Lord Brett.
Nice connections here. Actually, Lord is pretty much in a deep trouble now. He's pretty much wrecked and has broken Amorek unless he gets a repair soon, and he shouldn't because he already used it. This is not the development that Elevate was looking for.
Counterplay here for Elevate as he pushed 2 tanks up the Banana Road. It is Positive making a move up there in his 50B, and Type 5 heavy, I believe, of Wall Hacks moving up into that area. Now, Dead Zone's taking a bit of damage in his tank. Milosh will be able to see Positive here. He is, Positive's lit, but he's around the corner, so Milosh won't have an angle on him. But Milosh is going to get himself safe, because he's going to be expecting something to happen in that area pretty soon.
Yeah, this is a normal development. He's pushing now on A line to try to get a crossfire, while E4 will go in window to try to cover him, +1 Type 5. Canadian Impact is trading a bit down with 113 because they're pressuring on Brett. Brett is on 1 shot and he will probably fall very soon.
Kerolf taking some damage in 113 in that exchange of bomb, but now Brett in that Type 5 heavy's down 357 HP. How do you say, Mojo? He is a 1-shot. That's a huge amount of HP and potential damage being taken away there from Elevate. Oops, sitting in control here with the overall team HP, 2,000 more, almost 3,000 more. Big hit there into Positive from Milosh as Vetro now pushes round into his face. First tank down as Enemy Lord Brett is dropped there by Oops, but damage coming back into an Elevate are giving as good as they get right now, Mojo.
They're pretty much in a problem. I mean, HP-wise, they're same, but they're gunned down and they're a bit split all over the place. This cap will not be an issue for Oops. It's not a cap that's a problem. It's just the amount of guns on one place.
It's interesting to see here. Oops have various HPs across the entire tanks, but Elevate all roughly the same. So every tank bleeding HP, taking shots. Big hit there into Vetro again, 644. As another tank moves up there into Protect, as Dead Zone moving up to protect Milosh. 2 tanks coming around here, so Dead Zone will fall for his teammate, but he will give him a valuable barrier to hide behind.
Yeah, he actually did this intentionally, so they both will fall. Milosh actually managed to delete Vetro, and he's now reloading, pushing for Positive. Positive actually doesn't... Why doesn't he pick up? He's covered by E4, so he's scared to do it.
Positive comes round and gets the kill on Milosh, so it is 5 tanks left here from Oops against 5 tanks of Elevate. HP bars almost the same. Raging Potato and Cameo coming around behind. What can they do? Can they get shots? Big deflection there as Dodoma bounces one off the side of the Super Conqueror. And now Positive is not in a great place. Cameo taking a big hit to the face. They're continuing to shoot, but these Super Conquerors now are caught in a crossfire mojo. There's front and back. This is not a good place to be right now.
Yeah, but they can push here and try to use the DPM. Still, it's 5-4 here. Look at Wallhacks, man. Like dead driver, dead gunner, dead Amorek, dead everything. But still, the damage is coming. same HP. This is going down to the wire.
Nice pick up there by Cameo. Turns around and gets a shot. Wally just waiting for someone to peek around and get him. It's going to be Type 5 Heavy of Creator and Deca being able to peek around. Oh, great shot there into Wally. And in return, Ox Mathis drops Cameo. Then Kirov drops Ox Mathis. It is trade for trade right now between these two teams. 3 tanks left now of Oops against 2 of Elevate. What can Positive, the newcomer, do for his new team?
One shot by Creator can decide or lose this game. If he penetrates Positive, he can just delete him from the game. If he doesn't, Positive can pretty much end up in his entire team. Canadian and Positive, they have the advantage of the speed and reload, but no armor on those tanks.
This is going to be really interesting. Really important play here from Positive. What can he do for his team? Deca holding that area, knows exactly where Positive is. Big hit there. Positive tries to peek. Nice connection there. Positive getting hit 8-2-9. Ow, that's going to hurt, laddie.
Positive and Canadian above 500 HP. That means they're still not on one shot for 1-1-3, but for Creator and Deha, most likely they are. Kirov doesn't connect this shot, but Canadian is in reload. 2 minutes remaining, and this round doesn't look like it's gonna go anywhere even close to the
Heavy coming round here, looking for Positive. At the same time, Deca's pushing along the top of the road. Positive stuck between a rock and a hard place right now. He's going to face into the gun of Deca. Shoots one. Deca picks up the kill there on Positive. Only Canadian impact left now for Elevate, and this has been a fantastic starting round for both of these teams, setting out their stall, showing each other exactly what they're expecting from each other. And Mojo, this, I think, like you said, is going to go the distance. This could be a really hell of a matchup between these two teams right now.
A super close match where people were falling one by one. I mean, 1-4-1 in a matter of seconds, even faster. So great exchanges here, super close HP, but this one will go to Oops.
It's not one you can say as well that getting to this situation has been individual mistakes. It's been very good team plays that have led to each team getting into this situation.
Well, the initial, I would say, problem was when Brett was annihilated on the rail. Mighty Bachat armor again, but he was shooting heat. Why was he shooting heat?
Sneaky.
Maybe he doesn't have any AP shells on 1-1-3. Type 5 allowed himself to lose a lot of health, and when he saw he's getting farmed under the rail, he should have went back far earlier. But like this, they just managed to perma-check him and he couldn't leave anymore. That means he was on low HP with broken ammo rack all the time and so on.
Finally picking up the kill on Kirolf. Canadian impact, but he is in the guns.
Whoa!
And it is Creator who picks up the kill. I'm sure chat will be going wild because he is a chat favourite. 2 teams actually here in this tournament are probably like the biggest favourites of their regions. As with Oops being one of the more popular ones in EU, and Elevate, you know, being the untouchable pretty much, you know, of any.
Happy faces of Oops, not so much from Elevate, but that's expected. It's a great disappointment when the round comes this close and you actually lose it.
Well, here's the thing as well, is the teams face each other in this area. There's no divider between them. So when the other team beats you and you celebrate wildly,
it's in your face.
You're kind of putting it in their face. It reminds me of like the Call of Duty tournaments where they scream at each other. Not quite, I mean, the teams are not bad manners and that, but you can see the, you know, the happy smiles we saw earlier on, or the kind of cool, calm, collected of Elevate. They're looking a bit like, Positive's looking like he just woke up.
He always looks like he's woken up, man. Like, I never saw him. Like, he's always like, oh, I just woke up and it's a nice day.
So tired.
This is an important match for all of these guys. We keep telling like this match is important because of this and that, but these guys are in a death group of a tournament. It's Elevate, it's Oops, and Rush. Rush being the second team in CIS behind Tornado.
The
but
team that
that second has super heavy weight because they are also over several courses of years champions, and the only team that they're actually giving the way to is Tornado. So actually Ding had to do something to do with them on last Grand Finals also.
Ding broke them. Ding broke Ding. Ding put a spanner in the works. Put a cog in a wheel, Mojo.
Cog in a wheel.
I knew you were just thinking of that line there.
I just didn't say it.
Now, how's this going to go again? Are we going to get another slobber knocker here in Himmelsdorf, or the team's going to go head-to-head? Are we going to get some some pocket plays, some
Well, these
some
guys play
spicy
more
mends.
tactical. You can see that already from the start. This was not blind rushes or anything like that. And when the exchanges started, they were all over the place because they have a lot of players capable of doing that kind of solo decisions. They don't need to be guided in some super team push all the time. Like we have a case with some of the Chinese teams that they really must play like a swarm or they get outplayed.
Yeah. I really like the camo for both teams here. Obviously, we always talk about Oops having that cool giraffe camo, but this black and red that Elevate have as well really stands out. Looks really kind
The
of
jerseys look
looks
also
very
really
menacing as well. I like how they have the hoodie and t-shirt
It's
combo.
kind of Darth Vaderish.
Yeah, or the hoodie and t-shirt combo, because even when you unzip the hoodie, you still get the same logo coming through the middle. So yeah, high five to. Hey, well, he's like, hey guys, okay, cheers for that one. I mean, this is the thing. Like international tournaments, like everyone's like really good friends. It's good for teams to catch up again, talk to each other,
Make connections. You can train
yeah.
with them. You can do whatever.
See, I mean, with the hoodie and t-shirt thing, it looks really cool like that.
Yeah, it's really nice combo. Nice play there.
You know, like style points, 100% there for Elevate.
Best style points for EL Gaming with those leather jackets with
EL Gaming,
Chinese
yeah.
like
EL
flag and
Games. We'll
stuff.
have Elfish Guy once again talking in chat about how he has one. Talks non-stop about his EL Gaming leather jacket.
I think he sleeps in it.
You'd be surprised. It's like Daki in his Kazna Crew hoodie. Daki in his Oops hoodie. Daki in his Go Hard hoodie.
Daki needs
Daki in his
everything
Ding
for
hoodie.
free because he's poor.
Yeah.
You know?
Daki in his freebies.
Yeah. Donate him in a stream, please.
Please send all donations to PO Box the Killzor at givememoney.fame.co.uk.
So Oops versus Elevate now. Oops will shift on attacking side. We know that they played really well on Himmelsdorf. There was barely any team that could actually match them. Huge rotation potential. They know how to trick enemies. But I'm really interested to see actually how will that work out without Insane. Because even they say it. He is the crucial guy when it comes to those hard decisions that needs to be done in a split second.
Yeah, but how much of a difference will it make for team when if something doesn't go quite well, that they don't have angry Insane? Because Insane said this before, you know, when he has a bad game, when he's upset, the team feels it, the team hears it.
It's true, but their comms were much better this season, actually extremely much better. They were composed, and also Insane does know to bring those hard decisions in a split moment.
Yeah, just make
and
the call.
That's super crucial. So maybe he can rage a bit if someone doesn't do what he wanted or something like that.
I mean, he's watching it. He's in chat right now, so...
Yeah. So maybe he can do that, but still, it's a needed factor. And it's just who it is, and they accepted him like that.
Yeah, because now you have the potential of... You don't have that singular... you know, precise French voice coming through comms telling you what to do, so there'll be a bit of hesitation and, you know, I mean, I was joking with him earlier on. I wasn't going to call him the dead zone. I was going to say, you know, I'm going to refer to you as Kevin the pro player because he's got his little tag now that says pro player because he's part of the initial lineup. But now we go here into round 2. Oops, red side attacking. Elevate, blue side defending. We see Oops going with multiple Type 5 heavies, Mojo. It's going to be another drawn-out one, I think, here.
Well, as you can see, the defense of Elevate is actually quite light. They have only 2 Type 5 heavies. The rest is really mobile. Like 1 E4, 2 Type 5 heavies, everything else is fast tanks. On Oops side, on the other hand, 3 Type 5 heavies, 2 50Bs and a Butcher for standard rotation, and Super Conquer. The only change that Oops did compared to maybe some older games they did, they would play usually with 1-1-3, but even in season offlines, they already played Super Conquer because of that potential.
Look at this IS-7 here, Mojo, from Elevate. Look how far aggressive he's pushed up here.
Yeah, he's trying to lock off the map for Oops immediately. And that's why there is already a counter push from the other side. You can see the 50B and 1-1-3 being ready to help him, but they can't really peek because of these Type 5s.
That nearly hit Karolf there. Very nearly hit him. I think
the
it landed.
entire team of Elevate is there, but that we completely left their other side exposed. Let's see, will that Super Conqueror from the hill actually manage to connect a shell or two?
Dodomo's going to peek. Nice hit there into Karolf. Now, Canadian Impact's going to try and get a shot. Camille's going to come around and try and get shots on a drive-by. Dodomo's not spoiled, but Camille's able to cross the roads. Karolf holding his aim in that area. There's a 50B over to the left as well. And now there's a push coming down the banana road, so Elevate on the defense going aggressive here, Mojo. Like you said, sometimes aggression is the best defense, and it looks like they're wanting a team fight at the bottom of the map, something we very rarely see here on Himmelsdorf.
Not really sure will this pay off, because now they're getting a bit stuck with that Type 5s, and they're not doing anything special yet. and even their budget Canadian is already damaged and had to leave. Dodoma actually had to use repair because his engine was damaged. So these two Type 5s are now holding the 8 line, and they're going to try to prevent any kind of counter push by Oops down there because there is E4 and 50B in distance. But Oops does have an exit. They can use the hill. You can see already 50B and Bachat are gathering to join the Supercon there.
This Bachat of Elevate is going all around the map. Nice double tap there into the two Type 5s. One coming back into dead zone, but only 1-3-1 there. Wallhack's taking an absolute pummeling in his Type 5 as he's dropped down.
It's not a mouse. But look at this. This is really important now. The forces of Elevate are actually gathering up, and they have the numbers because we have a couple of guys from Oops on the hill, and Elevate might actually push and crush them.
The timing of this push here from Elevate looks to be spot on because Oops have two tanks excluded up on the hill. They will not be taking part in this battle when it happens, and when we always talk about guns in the game, it's damage that can come down. How much damage can Oops do before they go down? Because they are going to go down in this fight. Anime Lord Brett takes a lot of damage. He goes down as Deka picks up the kill. Now, Oops might be able to bring this one round. They're splitting the tanks off the hill. One's going top, one's coming bottom. They're trying to get back round into this. The E4 of Elevate is out of this battle as well, and Oops are actually coming really dominant right now in this position, Mojo, with 4K advantage.
Yeah, but we already have the Bachat Camille coming from the hill. He's in the back of the wall hex here, so he will fall 100% very soon. Deha and Creator are coming out of the reload, so that's not gonna bode well for...
Oh, what a shot! Type 5 Heavy from the bottom, hitting positive for 1.5. I think that is Creator. No, it was not Creator down the bottom because he's not in a Type 5 Heavy. Whoever that Type 5 Heavy is at the bottom, that was a fantastic shot into positive, and that has turned this fight on its head right now. Raging Potato giving the Polish anger to positive.
This is not something that Elevate was expecting. That push had a potential to win, that had the potential to work, but the timing was a bit off and wrong. Type 5s took so much damage. Oxmantus now is surrounded by enemy. All 7 Oops guys are still alive.
Raging Potato doing an absolute monster amount of damage here. Oops have not lost a tank in this engagement. They looked to be surrounded, they looked to be on the ropes, but it was a bit of a rope-a-dope, and they've came right back in with a knockout punch here to Elevate. Only Vetro's left in his E4. He gets dropped there by the dead zone. Massive shot, and Oops come out on top of that. What a fantastic play from what looked like to be a really, really dangerous position.
Yeah, this was something that Oops managed to come through. Let's say like this, Oops was really dominant on Himmelsdorf entire year, and this didn't look any different. The reads, even without Insane, were actually spot on. I believe they were actually a bit late.
Yeah.
But Elevate chose to push the wrong side a bit in that push. They took a lot of damage. Positive picking up that 1400 didn't really help, but I don't think it would change anything.
He still had 2 shots to go.
It was already done.
Yeah.
It was already done because other important tanks were already dead. And this is the second game in a row that Brett got annihilated first.
He's again kind of like caught out there on his own. I'm really interested to see actually how much damage was done there in the end by Raging Potato, because it quite quickly popped up that he was already over 3k. I like that little pop-up we get to let you know when players are in that situation, but very different looking Elevate here. I mean, I'd hate to tempt fate. I mean, I really don't think it could be a stomp. If it does, then it's a big message to Rush. I mean, Rush will be watching this match very carefully, watching the plays, watching how people position themselves, watching the get. So there's positive at the bottom screen.
Look at
1-5-4-8.
A candy shot.
Holy smokes. And that just turned the whole situation around. He was like, I'm not staying here anymore. 2 tanks immediately dropped down in front of him. And the whole time you have Ox here trying to do as much damage as he can, but Raging Potato's like, you know, like, mate, I can take multiple shots from you and still keep swinging. There's another big hit here into Ox Mathis as well. Oops, still with all their tanks. And actually, at the end here, the dead zone gets a massive hit into the back of the E4. Into Vetro here. So Vetro, like, he gets 1 from there, and then watch this. So it takes 1 shot, and then Dead Zone finishes him. So Dead Zone hitting there for about 1.3 or something
really
like
interesting
that.
when the damage comes, and we were talking to Oops, and that's all. I did the biggest damage on training, so we were like, okay, Kevin, let's see what damage will you actually do in the match.
Yeah, Dead Zone's claim to fame, and speaking to the teams beforehand, I do the most damage in training.
We shall see how that looks in reality, but he is playing as good part of the team.
Get that shot through the building. It's really nicely done. When they play well, when they sync up so well like that,
seriously,
easy peasy, raging potato, easy peasy. He's like, I do the most damage in training, guys. See, I'm bringing it to the game.
Florek.
They're looking happy. Florek is his surname, and the in-game name is his name backwards. I'm just going to stick with Florek. It's easier for me.
Yeah, that's
much easier.
He's on the first page.
2.5, 3.829, Decha. Brilliant play, actually, from the 50B. Fantastic play,
yes,
Decha.
But Decha is always a constant damage dealer.
Yeah.
He paid off so handsomely for me in my ESL fantasy
He carried
team.
your fantasy team. And
yeah,
then,
it was so nice,
dude,
man.
the best thing about it was the weeks when he wasn't playing was fantastic, because that was like that was when me and Daki could catch up.
Oh. It's quite a big difference, actually, between those
Look at the hit percentage, though. Look at this. 86% hit percentage against 64.
You can even live without that, because that can be some early shots in a game. But difference of 8,000 HP.
The damage blocked as well, massive as well there. Very impressive. And Oops not losing a single tank. That's sending a message. That's sending a message right now.
We'll see. This is a big blow for Elevate, because losing entire first map 2-0, and they were probably trying to surprise Oops here,
now
because they know that Oops plays Himmelsdorf well.
We're going to go to Mines now.
Yeah. Now they're going in Mines in really dodgy situation.
Hey, here's the interesting thing as well. Himmelsdorf was Elevate's pick.
Yeah, they tried to surprise Oops.
So now we're going to be going into Mines, which is Oops' first pick. Elevate banned out Cliff for their first pick, and then Oops banned out Prokhorovka.
Oops played Mines the entire season like beasts until one moment, and then they started getting stopped and blown up to the pieces. If you remember that round against Dink when they were trying to cross the water line and they just got blown up to bits and pieces, man. I think out of 4 tanks, one arrived alive.
Creator got one-shotted, and no, he got two-shotted. You got ammo racked, and it was Raging Potato drove into the back of the wreckage.
Senya finishing them off with the light all the time.
Do not let Senya
There we go.
Let's
see the lineups here for the Mines. Oops is attacking. They are playing with the T100 light played by Camille.
Elevate going for a very mobile setup, going for the hill here, but Oops are going to immediately rush down into the water, trying perhaps do a rush cap here.
Ooh, Camille, this doesn't look good for you, mate.
Yeah, Camille and his T100 is up the creek without a paddle
right
now.
Let's see how ninja are you.
They're going to come off reloads. They're off reload now, and there goes the shots coming in. Cameo actually gets one before he goes, hits one into positive. Now Elevate are coming over. They kind of smell this happening right now. There is a cap starting.
Cameo is still on 100%.
In the circle. Cameo is still alive. The bad chats haven't got him. He's got around the corner. He might get up on the hill. The T100 coming around the other side. Elevate trying to focus everyone else into the cap circle. Alive. Cameo dodging and diving right now, gets down the bottom. He has played these two bat chats like a fiddle right now. Cap still going on right now, 19 seconds. Elevate, you're going to have to get in there, lads. You're going to have to do something, because right now Oops is debating you and you are falling for it hard.
It's 11 seconds and these bat chats are in reload. I'm not sure are they both, but one of them is. Volhex actually has to sacrifice himself for the race. 3 seconds to go.
Elevate throws everything but the kitchen sink into the cap circle right now. Totoma's down in his 113, Wallhacks is down in his 113, and Oops are just going to turn the screws right now on Elevate. They're going to say, right guys, let's take the fight, we have an advantage. Fetzel's dropped down to a one-shot now, 123 HP, and look at this from Oops. They are playing like a team-possessed mojo right now. Elevate now down 3 tanks, Oops have lost 1 tank, they've lost Creator and IS7, Cameo still alive on 23 HP in that T100, and he's now shooting into the back, shooting into positive, but Deca picks up the kill. Only 3 tanks left on Elevate, and once again, Oops just playing Elevate right now like a fiddle.
Great plays by Oops. At the moment, reactions are in a split second. I like that cohesion. So far, they're not really heavily challenged by Elevate, but that survival by Camille, I might just say, like that should have never happened. Running
headfirst into 2 bat chats in a T100 and getting away from it when they're off reloads. And he picks up a kill here on Anime Lord Brett for the final kill. Camel, what have you been drinking, laddie? Because I want some of it.
Iron Brew, 100%.
Oh man, if he's drinking Iron Brew and keeping it hidden, there's going to be trouble. I will turn this place upside down, Mojo.
To find where he bought it.
Yes.
Well,
wow. This is a shock, to be honest.
Well, they are not happy, and there is nothing to be happy about. They started with 3-0, I mean 0-3, and it doesn't look like they at the moment have an idea how to get out of it.
They were like, okay, they don't have the shot caller, and this right now they're like, ha, we're only pretended all season. We just pretend, we just let Insane shout at us.
Oops, is like Hydra, man. Yeah. You cut one head and you get the 3 shot callers.
He's got it as well, yeah. But they've put the work in. They want to show. I mean, I said that to speaking to both Melan, speaking to Kevin, the pro player, you know, saying how much practice have you guys put in? And they were like, well, lots. And like Melan said, throughout the entire season, although Dead Zone didn't play in the lineups, he was always there for practice. He always knew what the tactics were, so he was natural to be able to slot in. It wasn't like, I mean, Crater can't believe it. Look at him. He's like, wow, is this really happening?
People can joke around, but Kevin is actually really dedicated person.
100% dedicated.
So there is no way he would try to flunk his team.
He is, I mean, look at the smiles right now. They are so calm. Look at this. Wally goes over here and gets absolutely thrashed for it when he goes over here. Cameo like a slippery little snake. Man, that was brutal. That was absolutely brutal. That was a last 3-second reset.
The round with that light.
Getting out 23 HP. T100. It's like a Terminator, Mojo. Nice! You can see that coming in there. The passion. Oh. That's when he died. He was the only one who died.
Great round. But 3-0 for Oops, I really never saw something like this happening.
Smile, raging potato.
I had faith that they will probably be able to win even without Insane because they're flexible team, young team, and I heard how they talk on the matches. But something like this, no.
I mean, let's be clear here, right? Elevate are a good team, but you can never discount the European teams, because like we talked about earlier on, they practice against the Russian teams.
It's not only that. Oops is not a new team anymore. Like we could say that
You can't say that anymore. Yeah, you can't say they don't have the experience.
It's actually a seasoned team now. All these guys are seasoned players, veterans.
And despite the little speed bumps that they had throughout the season, when they played well together, Deca again.
And Deadzone's sticking to that 5th spot. You're not going to throw me out from the screen.
Deadzone's like, I'm staying on the top screen, boys.
I bet the next guy has like 1963.
Look at this, Mojo. Top player from Elevate, though, is their
light tank.
Their light tank, their team. I mean, arguably, you can say he was left till the end for anyone to go against. But I mean, I'm going to do
It says a lot about performance of others.
I'm going to do my first pun here related to these teams. I mean, right now in the battle of heights, it's the giraffe that is the king of the elevation here right now.
Wow.
You know?
Wow. You're going to ducky levels, man.
I could really try and draw it in here. I mean, Elevate need to rise up right now, Mojo. They need to, you know, get up there. I mean, how can you rise up against a giraffe?
I think
a tough giraffe on top of that.
I think people in chat will lower you after this quite a lot.
Hey, chat. You guys know you love it. Give me some Kappa pride right now, or don't.
Oh, Milos, that serious face. When dollars are in questions, Milos is super serious person.
When Milos is in the zone, that is it, locked in. But
money's on the line, man.
Fantastic start here for Oops. 3-0 leads against Elevate here on Mines. Oops now red side on the defense. Elevate blue side attacking. And let's have a look at this lineup here from Oops. It is a fairly mobile lineup. Again, Mojo, we're not seeing the heavy, slow lineups anymore on Mines, and we are going to get a good old-fashioned brawl here on the hill.
50B, will he pass unspotted? He is actually completely unspotted together with Camille. This is not good for Elevate, because when they get struck in the back, those two will be actually able to finish off the tanks.
50B has made it. Camille spotted, but the 50B hasn't made it. Crater's going to be the first one to take the rise. See, trade shots there. Into the Super Conqueror. He comes out on top of it. Vetro looks like to be the one focused. Anime Lord has been focused. Camille's taking some shots at T100, but he's at T100. That's not how you want to focus right now, Elevate. You want to get stuck in about these heavies. Brett continuing to take damage right now. He's 1-3. He gets the damage to Amarok. He fixed that straight away. Vetro takes damage. Dodoma takes damage. In return, they're focusing to Kirillov. Great idea. Get that 50B out of the game, but he's backing off on a reload now. Milos now takes down Anime Lord Brett. These tanks are going to move up in the middle. Dodoma's going to be the next one to fall, and Elevate are going to lose 2 of their 1-1-3s, and Oops are still going to be with 7 tanks right now.
This is not a good idea because they abandoned 2 of their tier 10 teammates to chase one guy and they didn't even catch him. He's still alive and he's coming from other side to attack the budget now. This is total chaos in Elevate flanks. They don't have the correct shot calls at the moment. This is not good.
Elevate, you are playing World of Tanks, not World of Warships. You are all at sea right now, and Oops are just the waves crashing into you. Ox Mathis is about to go down. Deka right in his face with his Super Conqueror. Can Ox get a shot? Nope, there's a miss, and it's Deka that picks up that kill. Again, Oops, 7 tanks, nobody's dead, and there is a kill right now as Positive gets a kill finally on Kerloff, and Oops are romping this one right now, Mojo. 4-0, and Elevate just do not have an answer. Do not have an answer right now.
There is no way out of this. There is no way out of this. Positive and Canadian, they can do some damage, maybe do a kill more like Deha is on one shot, but look at this. Creator, Milos, Raging, Dead Zone, high amount of HP, and this is a small map. You can run around only so much.
And the thing is after this, we're going to get Muravanka, which was an Oops pick, which had Nio question it on the desk. He said, that's an unusual pick. I wonder if they've got something planned. And Matt was asking him, saying, maybe they do have something special. And right now...
Nice connection here by Canadian and actually managing to take one more tank off Oops down. Dead Zone will probably be the next. Nice connection again by Canadian. Brilliant play here.
But what are you going to do against 2 full
But
HP?
still, this budget is going to get double tapped now.
Oh. In between a rock and a hard place is Crater. Picks up his 3rd kill. Canadian Impact's going to come round and perhaps give Crater his 4th kill. And the Dutch reign supreme right now.
I've been never so far away from prediction in my life.
Wow.
I mean, I've done a lot of flunks during this season, but this is really far away.
I mean, have you had a special play you're looking to do in Muravanka for your your 2nd pick of and it's the 3rd map, and you're currently sitting 4-0 up? I think you can be fairly confident your plan's probably going to work.
Could, but you don't even have to do it then.
Shoulda, woulda, coulda. Do you just play it safe? I mean, they're going to be rocked by this because after this match, Elevate's next match is the last match tomorrow, and they're going to be going up against Rush.
They're not defeated yet. There is still that micro chance. If they find some kind of strength in them to snap out of this, and they need to.
If they do that, if they can turn this around and win this one 5-4, I would say that would be
from 0 to hero.
That would be a big oops.
That would be a big oops.
They would have elevated up, Mojo. They would have risen up. I can't even do. I'm done with the Elevate puns already. To be honest, it's just not. I'm sorry, Elevate. I'm sorry. I need Rukil and Rockstar to write me out some better puns for Elevate.
I think they would probably slap you.
Or actually, Meadowhawk. Meadowhawk was the pun master whenever he did interviews and stuff like that. Like almost his entire speech was filled with memes, and I'm just not as prepared. I'm as prepared as Daki because Daki just always goes back to Rage Quit and Legend. But look at this. I mean, this was an absolute stomp in the middle of the map. 50
yeah, this is a major mistake to
coming
abandon those two tier 10
out,
tanks.
Turning around, trying to get... I mean, okay, when I say it's the right thing to do, it's the right thing to do if you can get him before he gets the clip out. But he got his clip out and he was running away, so it wasn't then the good thing to do.
First,
Ox, I mean, look at this. Ox is sitting there with a shot ready to go, and I think he's just given up at that point. He's just like, I'm done. Like, just kill me now.
First of all, they made a major mistake. They completely abandoned hill and gave it to Oops, who has like several super conquerors. And once they reach the top of the hill, they will definitely annihilate them. Then, when they saw a 50B, they reacted really chaotic and started chasing the guy who was in a reload and abandoned 2 guys who were heavily pressured from the middle, losing 2 tier 10 battle tanks for nothing.
Player reactions is always good watching.
You know where I saw these faces before? When Kazna won Sofia finals.
Yeah.
They were playing against Virtus and they couldn't understand
relaxed.
how were they spanking Virtus so much, and they were like, okay, let's keep it going. Okay, let's keep one more round. Let's keep it going.
And like we said, it's that you have the additional thing of the team that's pasting you. Let's be honest. I'm sorry, NA fans here, but Elevate's getting pasted right now, and every round it's happening, and the people directly across from them are the guys doing it. You know, it's not like they're beside each other. And it looks like there's been a technical pause for some kind of reason here.
Wally called the timeout, I think.
And that's Oops all talking to each other. So if there has been a timeout, they're perhaps discussing tactics. Hopefully not discussing tactics, because it probably would have heard easily by Elevate, unless they're all sneakily speaking in Polish. But then who knows what Dead Zone and Crater are going to do.
Well, this is now...
Crater's going to nap from the looks of it.
Is this now like Polish/Dutch team?
It is. Like, Mailander's talking about this. Initially, Oops was like something like 4 Germans at a pole, and then 2 Frenchmen. It was silence, silence, as we always got told. It is not silence, it is silence. I'm sorry, insane for that. Like, please kill me later.
Yeah, they have now 5 Polish players and 2 Dutch ones.
And 2 Dutch
Probably
and
the only Dutch people that play Gold League.
Yeah.
And they're both in the same team.
There has been a Dutch team that's tried to go up a couple of times and failed.
It does work better without those Germans, eh, Velen?
Yeah, indeed. But yeah, they look focused, that is ready to go. I mean, we had Milos on the show on Monday one time. We joked him saying, what do you think's the difference between Oops being successful this season and last season? He's like, no Mayland. Which was just a little joke. But yeah, I mean, this is something that Milan pointed out on the desk earlier on. Oops don't have a weak map. They don't have a map that they always ban. Some teams will never touch it. Matt mentioned it in the match before. It was Unique versus Junio. That if it went to tiebreaker, it was going to be Mines, which Unique hadn't played all season. It was their automatic ban. So sometimes if it does get to tiebreaker, teams can be forced to play on a map they've never played before. But it looks like that's not going to be happening now.
Well, the worst map for Oops are Ghost Town and Prohorovka with around 50% win rate.
But
both of them
is a bad map.
Yeah,
wow.
But
yeah.
both of them are banned by them here.
Yeah.
So all other like 60 plus. That's a good stat even for a player. God forbid for like a stat for a map.
Yeah.
For a map.
I mean, for those not familiar with how it works in esports, we have an 8 map pool that teams can choose from. The teams will play on a normal situation. It will be best of 9. So the teams will be playing on 4 maps. Plus, if so laid back, he's horizontal.
He's always like that.
Yeah.
Man. Like all the time, even when he was playing like with Ding, that's him.
So the teams will play on 4 maps, and they'll ban 4 maps. Now, when we get to quarterfinals and we get to semifinals, we'll be playing best of 13. So the teams will only get 1 ban each, and they'll be playing on 6 maps. For some teams, that can be really rough, can't it, Mojo?
Yeah, but Oops is not one of those teams because they never ban only 1 map. It's a problem only if you actually run in a map you don't want to play as a tiebreaker.
They're so happy they found how to put the chair back. That'd be so funny if he just went right back off the chair, knees up, monitor over, stuff everywhere.
A lot of chilling going on around here, but they can allow it themselves. It's 4-0. I hope they don't chill actually too much.
They don't go too much. We've seen this before with teams that have a break and then everything goes wrong. So right now, as you can see here with Creator, he's putting the inner ear headphones in. So those headphones that he's putting in are the ones that give sound that from the game and the team comms. Then what they do is they put over the noise cancellation headsets. The noise cancellation headsets have then white noise pumped into them as well. So you're in a vacuum. All you can hear is the in-game sounds.
You don't hear anyone. Like the guy can stand next to you and talk. You will just turn around
nothing.
Like, what?
It's just complete silence. All you hear is the in-game noise and your teammates talking in TeamSpeak.
If anyone
Which is why when we had the EU finals,
exactly.
Yizne was not high-fiving Diplomat because Yizne's computer switched off and Yizne had nothing. Couldn't hear anything. And they were saying, hey man, high five. And his whole team was staring at him, and he just couldn't understand why his team were all staring at him.
And he was like, why are you so happy? My computer died.
Yes.
And they can't hear him.
Oh, positive. Wasn't able to make it, unfortunately, with Eclipse, the team that he'd been playing on all season in NA. Left Ding, picked up by Eclipse in NA, and now is here with Elevate. Elevate also have with them additional players, actually, from other teams. So Elevate also have Aggressor, who's came over, I believe, from Dare.
Rising.
Yep. And Positive came over from Eclipse.
Yep.
So, I was saying, they don't also, I mean, they don't have external 007. I interviewed him on New York in a very southern accent. Very cool guy. But, yeah, it's unfortunate. I mean, you can argue it's not a full-strength team, but then it's not a full-strength Oops team either.
Let's go. Oops is on attack on Murovanka, playing with 4 i7s, no less, +1 Super Conqueror, and only 2 Bachats.
Are they going to rush cap?
Elevate playing on their side with, again, 3 i7s, a Super Conqueror, 2 Bachats, and a light tank. This is definitely a fight setup by Oops.
Fight set? I was just saying, I mean, or do you do it? Do you say, like, we're going to rush cap, or... No, there's no. Well, maybe they're going cap on the inside way. Try and just force the fight. Just try and say, look, they're on the ropes. Let's just use our superior teamwork and let's punish them for it.
Let's see, maybe this is a clan war tactics here coming in. 2 Bachats clearing the way for those I7s toward the forest. There is a super spread, Super Conqueror playing the flanking side on 3 line by Oops and 2 I7s right below him. So this is actually a good coverage by the entire team.
IS7 being spotted out there, Dead's on his Batchat being spotted out there as well, so that's...
Honestly, guys, whoever watches this, like, even if you don't play something like Silver or Gold, you can always watch these matches and get good ideas for clan wars. Because no matter if it's 7 on 7, you can always multiply a bit and get really good ideas how to do a pressure on some maps. Everything here is usable in other formats.
Milos taking a hit there in his IS7, 488, so somebody rolled quite nice there. But Elevate have set up their defensive area across base 1. It's going to be up to Oops to try and break this down. Canadian Impact in that T100 light in a bush. That is going to be extremely difficult to find. You're probably going to have to pretty much drive into him to spot him.
Yeah, you can't really spot him, but you can guess where he is, and there is a possibility that they will just send someone to find him, because there is an I7 there behind in a hold-down position. But we know from some matches before that that is not a safe spot. That I7 can be taken out.
Yep. Now you picked this map, Oops. You knew you'd be attacking, so what was your play? What was your plan? Let's see. Oops, in the past, are known for being master tacticians, coming out with some awesome tactics, coming out with some really good deceptive tactics where it makes it look like they're going to do one thing and off they go to do another. And there is a rotation here coming from Oops Mojo that are gathering up onto what looks like to be some kind of push onto base 1, or perhaps even just force a team fight.
That would rather be suicidal if they just push it, because there is too many of the Elevate things there. But some kind of cap pressure, yes, definite possibility because of these I7s. Now the Bachat will be their prime target, the Bachat that is behind the houses on E1. He needs to be countered by everything in a team, because then Elevate will have no choice except just to push it straight into them. So Brett here is safe as long as he's not spotted. Once he does get spotted,
triple cap, and whoa, Elevate are not hanging about for this at all. As soon as the triple cap started, they push in with 3 tanks, 2 IS7s and a Batchat. Focus fire going back out into Wallhacks. Focus fire and return going into Crater. Camille taking damage in his Batchat as well. So Oops coming off worse here in this trade as Elevate have the more team damage. Oops go back into the cap circle and continue to peek round back into it. Now Ox Mathis is being focused by the tanks here of Oops. Focus fire being really good here from Oops, but they're not dropping anyone. Positive is being effectively ignored while they shoot into these IS7s. Now Raging Potato taking a lot of damage for Oops. What can he do back in return? Can he continue to focus these tanks of Elevate? Positives now clipped out. He goes down. Crater picks out Ox Mathis, and Mojo, this fight is continuing here right now.
Brett is now coming into their flanks and clipping out, so he managed to take one guy out, but look at this, the HP is still in Elevate's favor. They still have like almost 1000 HP advantage, but it's split all over the place, and Canadian is one of the players that actually have most HP.
Guns in the game, Dead Zone comes in and he's Batchat. 2 tanks immediately fall there for Elevate as Oops still have the tank advantage. It is now 5 guns to 3, and Mojo, I think right now the writing is on the wall.
We have Dodoma with 100% HP, Positive and Canadian. It's gonna be really hard for them to do anything, especially since Positive is now dead.
This is it, done and dusted. It's going to be Oops, the tough giraffes. How can you elevate to the position of a tough giraffe? Well, right now, ladies and gentlemen, the answer is you cannot, as Oops are going to walk this one 5-0. Elevate are going to go back to the drawing board. They're going to have to go up against a Rush. It's going to be a hell of a tough opponent next for them. And Oops, they're going to enjoy themselves tonight.
Dodoma is trying. He was playing the Russian steel, but it doesn't really help. Canadian is the last hope there, but it's an impossible mission against Oops. Oops, in strongest performance in a while I've seen them 5-0ing multiple American champion.
Wow.
Elevate.
Wow. That is impressive. That is a fantastic result for Oops. They are going to be absolutely delighted with that. Insane if you're watching this one in chat, your boys did you proud. Elevate, wow, they are going to be gutted, absolutely gutted for that. I mean, on the desk they were predicting a drawn out match, expecting something like a 5-4, expecting something like a 5-3, and wow, Oops
not even
really
in wildest
stepped up.
dreams. I would say that something like this is possible.
After that first Himmelsdorf round, okay, round 1 Himmelsdorf, everything looked like it was going to be super close. But then after that, Oops just went, right, I think we have the measure of them. Let's just like go for it here. Let's get stuck in. Very sporting here from the guys. They all know wallhacks. They'll have a good laugh with them. I like the time they're all in each other's streams, chatting away to each other and stuff like that.
It's good bonds and friendships you can develop this way.
It's going to be a tough hit for the American boys there, and Canadian boy and Russian boy.
They're gonna have to reset and go to a match that could be even harder than this one. Which is hard to imagine after watching this.
Yeah, it's I mean, how'd you come back from that, knowing that your next match is Rush?
You take a long shower and you sleep it off. As Lucky would say, I will cry entire night.
Yeah, I'll go to my bed now to cry. Wow. Okay, I was not expecting this one to go 5-0 as well, Mojo. No way could it have been predicted. Tomato the Lobster, Tomato the Oracle, Tomato the Wrong is what it should be known as.
Tomato the Jinxter?
Tomato went for, he was quite confident in going for Elevate, and he got that one wrong.
Oh, these guys, they're going to lose.
I mean, that's 2 5-1s and a 5-0. Mojo, you might have drawn the lucky group for the 4-match cast, to be honest.
Lucky for what? Lucky for who?
Lucky for
unlucky
you,
for
because
the players.
no drawn-out matches, you know, but yeah, unlucky
but we didn't expect them, because we expect people, when they come here, they will play offensive, because that is the way to deal with this game. You cannot sit around and wait for something to happen. The ones who actually take a charge in their hands, they usually win the match. That's how the game works.
Yep, and when we get our predictions completely wrong, like we say, we are pleasantly surprised. And I mean, look at this one. It looked like it was going so close, and then every time someone peaked, the focus fire going back into them was just absolutely on point here from Oops. I'm surprised, and I'm happy to be surprised by how Oops are playing. I mean, let's be honest, we're EU casters. We're going to have an EU bias. We want to see exciting matches, but we also want our homeboys to do the best, you know.
It's a normal thing, but at the end of the day, I just want to see good plays.
Wally.
That's the most important for me. I want to see teams perform well, and who plays better, be done with it.
Yeah. As you always say, Mojo, teams get what they deserve.
You get what you deserve, man. At the end of the day, it's all fair. Everyone plays in same conditions. Everyone can have the problems like in this or that. Everyone has potential to play same amount of time, train. So who is better, he will win at the end of the day. That's it.
This exchange here with the IS-7s, this cat play around this hill, absolutely fantastic. I wonder how much Daki's thinking to himself, this is because of all the hard work the boys have been putting in Clan Wars recently.
He probably didn't even show up.
Probably didn't. Actually, he was saying that. He said earlier on yesterday, he looked at Kirilov and said, "You're in Fame, aren't you?" He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "How many Clan Wars battles you played?" He was just like, There was at least 2 people he's done that to during here, who he's realised are in his clan and have not been playing.
Priorities. It's called priorities.
Yeah, a little bit more important. Deca coming second top there, Mojo. Like you said, Mr. Consistency for his team.
Dead Zone.
Dead Zone. Dead Zone's not number 5. Florek coming in there, coming out on top. Damage blocked to almost double what Elevate were able to do.
It was all by I7s on that corner, and especially it was really good because they actually covered each other all the time. Then Milos went completely forward because he had more HP, so he went to soak up. So it was really good communication. Also something new from Milos, because in early stages in the league when he joined, he was camping unbelievably a lot and dodging every shell that would come his way. But he learned.
Fantastic individual play from the various players of Oops, and coming together as a unit without their main shot caller and the key player for Oops, kind of cornerstone of Oops, and Insane. And we had a little joke about it earlier on, saying sometimes they have had to play without Insane before because,
things
had a bit of an insane reaction to matches.
But Oops performed really strong, unbelievably strong actually, 5-0. I'm still shocked about.
I can't wait to see how they play against Rush now. I'm looking really forward to that match. That's going to be.
I hope they will keep their feet on the ground,
Oops against Rush. I mean, yeah.
A team like Oops actually has a chance because they do like to play aggressive. So that's the style that actually defeats Rush, because Tornado is always beating Rush just by playing smarter and faster. Even like when we watched last time, they were like 3-0 down, and then they just
You
easy.
could just turn it around, yeah. I mean, that's the thing. Like sometimes you play against the Russian teams, you win round 1, you're like, yay! Or you win the second round, you're like, hey, and they just come back absolutely dominant. But right now, we can actually jump over to the post-match interview with Tonya. So let's hear what Oops have to say about this one, because surely they're going to be happy about it.
Thank you, guys. I'm here with Camille from Oops. This is amazing result. So 5-0, pretty much the best for today. What do you feel right now?
I feel really happy and comfortable about our gameplay, what we showed today, and we hope against Rush we'll be playing also that good.
So you came here without a captain, actually. I can say that somebody expected less from you. What can you say? Where did you get all this confidence for such a great game?
I think everyone expected that we will be playing worse than we are used to that we should play. So we prepared really hard for this event and we trained a lot. And they also made a lot of mistakes during the game. So I think that kind of helped us, and that was quite easy.
It definitely was. So who was in charge of everything inside of the game during this game today?
I think every player played well. I cannot tell you right now who played the best and who played the worst, but I think everyone played good and everyone played good enough to win.
Yeah, definitely. It was a great game. Thank you very much for the interview. And now we go back to our analysis panel. So over to you, Matt.
Thank you, Tonya, for all your interviews today. Well, there's applause going on in the background. That's rather nice, isn't it? I suspect that's for you. And a big performance, dead zones here on the desk with our boys who've been working so hard today. You've been working pretty hard there. And yeah, so 5-0's not really what any of us thought was going to happen in that. That's a big result for you and a massive upset for Elevate as well. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. It's really not what we've expected. You know, we think they're the #1 team in NA. You know, we would have expected that we had some more close rounds. Like you saw in the first round, Himmelsdorf was super close, but later on it's just like they kept making mistakes, maybe a bit of nerves coming together.
Yeah, you do expect better though from a team like Elevate to turn up something like this with nerves. You know, they've been on major stages, they've been on the biggest stages we've had in World of Tanks, and they've delivered. They were 3rd and 4th position out of the grand finals, you know, a few months ago. An amazing performance from you. And actually before that game, and you won't know because you know you were doing your thing and getting ready for the important stuff, I said didn't really want that to be a one-sided game. It felt like it wouldn't do either team justice. Definitely didn't do Elevate justice, but an amazing performance to see that from Oops. You must be so proud of your guys as well.
Well, yeah, I can wear that hoodie with even more confidence now, with even more can be even more proud. And I think what also helped you guys really out was winning the initial 2 rounds. Like I know it back when I played in Oops, you need the first 2 rounds, you need to pick up that momentum and then just keep it going. And I think that's what you managed to do really well.
It was really tight on the first 2 rounds because we were all stressed. You know, first game on LAN after such a long time for me. I haven't played LAN for 2 years, so
2 years
shaking
now.
and everything. Yeah, 2 years since my last LAN game, so it was something new again for me.
Right.
So it was everybody, you know, getting used to each other again on LAN, on match, in performance, and it started off a bit rough, but then, you know, it kept going better and better.
You say it started off a bit rough, but from the shots we could see of all of you guys behind your desk, you looked all the time so much more relaxed and comfortable compared to Elevate. And we've seen Elevate turn up, and we know how professional they are, and they looked like they weren't. Some of them looked like they didn't want to be here. Some of them looked like they did not want to see the end of that game out, and they just wanted it to be over with. Still a bit of leaning back here in places as well, but like that was a very different view of 2 teams. You guys enjoyed yourselves.
Yeah, we did. We were actually, before the match, we were having a staring competition with Elevate. Unfortunately, we didn't win that one. They ended up winning that. They were better at it for some reason.
So it was 5-1 to Elevate then. Let's have a look at some of that again. That was a phenomenal match. Congratulations again.
Some of those first rounds were super close. Like the first Himmels game went right down to the wire, down to like micro plays of just who's trading better, really quick coordination between players. We even saw in one moment, there's when you shielded Milosh, you know, keeping him alive, even though you had about 1,000 HP, 1,500 HP or whatever it was. You died for Milosh on a one-shot who went on to finish off Vetro here. So a really good opening shield.
I think also really showed that first game showed how tight you guys are, like on the skill level. Like such a tight game, really, like very, very close. Just shows that there is not much of a difference in the skill level there. But yeah, great first pickup there with the first rounds. And also, what happened there on the second match, Oops Attack? You didn't really want to go anywhere. Elevate was playing aggressively, locking you in the southern part of Himmelsdorf, and then you just kind of waited for them, and then they moved in. Like, what happened there?
We were like afraid that they were going to push the hill with like a 113 50B and batch it. So we were rotating our 50Bs back up the hill. Then we spotted them. Then we went back again, and we were kind of, we were safe because we were holding type 5s, we were holding corners, and I was sitting there in a corner with 2 50Bs covering me, so they couldn't really, touch us at that point.
Just really waiting for a mistake, and they made it.
They
drove into the crossfire. There was multiple, or not multiple pens, but there was at least one big pen from I think it was raging onto positive, and going then onto mines after those 2 first rounds. We saw this this quick cap, and Elevate had to react. They pushed on the lower road. That didn't work. There was cover from the...
That's exactly what you guys wanted. You were just waiting for that, I guess.
Yeah, full cover from the island.
We saw their lineup, with all those 113s, and we're like, they cannot, camp with that. They're going to go middle, and we don't have enough 113s, to really win that fight because we're slower in the middle. Yeah. So we just go for the cap, and we saw them there middle, and we have a triple cap, so they have to either peek, and they did, and the first guy that peeked just did 0 damage, straight obliterated.
And what was Camille's initial reaction after he spotted like 2 batches right in his face?
We were like, oh, run, Camille, run, just do something. Yeah. And I don't know how, but he just drove out of there with 800 HP, survived the battle, and did like 1.6k damage.
Yeah, he even did the last kill.
Yeah. It's just unbelievable how he did that.
Yeah. And your defense, like you were pretty fast, tried to get the battle straight to Elevate with the 50B and the light tank going around, and you actually got spotted there with T100 with the T100 light, which actually gave away your strat there. And I guess you were kind of lucky that Elevate didn't use that moment to straight push over, or how did you see that in that moment?
Well, the thing is that their T100 that went up the hill, he didn't spot our flank, and Camille just went straight around. So all of the heavies turned, and they shot Camille, and then they were like, oh shit. There's a T100, and then, there's a 50B. So 3 of their tanks went straight back, and then we just could drive in and execute what was left.
Yeah, so many tanks went chasing Karolf around the hill. I think he had 3 guys following him, and then all of a sudden, middle push. What are they going to do against that?
Everything was gone there.
And did you feel like Elevate really had problems if you had these very fast pushes and fast kind of rotations? Or was it just that one lucky moment there?
I think that their coordination was not as good as we had in that moment, because we were instantly like, straight, go. They're moving there, we go. And they were like, oh, we're going back with 3 tanks for 1 50B, It's just a lack of coordination.
And without Insane, who made those calls this time?
It was multiple people. It was like either me screaming or Milos or Camille. Just everybody.
Was it whoever was loudest?
Yeah, kinda, yeah. The loudest or the earliest.
Right.
Yeah.
Because we were talking about that beforehand, how you're going to work without Insane, who might be running the show. And you mentioned few of the guys can step up and do it, as we saw. So I'm sure Insane is watching and feeling very pleased with you guys.
He was watching all day long already, like hyping us up for, you better perform now.
Yeah, what do you think of that, Insane? Let us know.
And yeah, last match, Muro. Actually, didn't see you guys winning that, like you taking the initial positions, taking map control, then kind of Elevate gathered up here at the 1 cap, just trying to push those IS-7s back. But yeah, then you had quick rotations and instantly pushed back on those IS-7s. How did you feel in that moment, or what was your thoughts there?
So we came into the round and we really expected them, they had a timeout, so they were going to play maybe something aggressive, so we were playing it safe. And I was sitting at the church, so that's in the middle of the map around F6, and then suddenly an IS-7 shot me. So we know, like, wait, there's an IS-7 on the K line. And at that moment, we know, if I run to the rest, then we can just engage them, and we have more tanks than them, so technically, we should win it.
You think if they had a more coordinated push here, if they fully committed with these 3 heavy tanks onto yours, it wasn't particularly favorable with HP, and their Batchat on the 0 line there could have joined in on a full clip, would that have gone differently?
It was actually, there was a time window for them to win, because eventually I came in and they had to turn around and I killed someone, and that eventually, costed them the round. But if they had the right time window, they would have definitely won from us.
So just comparing you guys or your play to Elevate, not only the fast reactions, what do you think was another advantage that you had here? What did you make better?
Everybody was pumped for the match. Everybody was hyped, ready for it. Teamwork was good. Just all over, the coordination was great.
Yeah, right. Great to see that. Great to see that working out when I was still part of the team. I know it was sometimes a bit loud, a bit hectic, everybody talking, but great to you guys got
Are you
that
trying
sorted
to
out.
interview your way back into this team now? I don't want to be on the analyst desk. I want to be back in the game as we go towards the quarterfinals, as you do. Progress very nicely towards quarterfinals.
Not sure yet, of course.
I
We
know.
can still elevate, can still win against Rush.
Rush, yeah, a small factor of needing to get a play in against Rush. But you know, you're in the best position you can be in, regardless of the score. It's a win.
Yeah.
And that is how this thing works. In groups of 3, you know, there's very little room to spare in any kind of round robin tournament. So how do you fancy Rush? You're playing them on Friday.
Well, it's going to be, you know, I think it could be even really tight, you know, and we maybe have played some mind games against them because it's Rush, you know, it's the Rush.
Yeah.
And winning against them is something really hard and that almost nobody ever manages.
Can be done.
Can be done, but it's hard.
Yeah. You'll see them tomorrow. We will see how they go against Elevate tomorrow, and Elevate have to win that game now, and that is going to be a very difficult game that we've just seen for them to shake off tonight and turn up for it tomorrow. These are the games then that we'll be bringing you on day 2. Just day 2 of the final battle of 2017. More of it, and it looks like this. Yato will be playing their first game of the season, our number 1 team here from the APAC region, and they will be playing Yino, who we saw earlier on and must win that game. Tornado Energy will make their first appearance. The world champions will be playing the the runner-up seed we've got here from APAC 7. Pirates Ding, first time we'll be seeing them, and top tier have to win that. And the first time we'll see Rush from the CIS this week, and they will be playing Elevate. So the first time we see all of those teams on the left, and must-win games for all of the teams on the right. That is a stacked lineup for day 2, and then day 3 on Friday is where we will start seeding some things before we get into the quarters and the semi-finals on Saturday and Sunday. Congratulations again to Dead Zone, and oops, I'll shake your hand as well.
Yeah, thanks.
Well done you boys. So that's where we are then after day 1 of the final battle. Thank you very much for joining us. Let us know your thoughts, and make sure of course you visit WOTfinals.com and join in with our competition there, and tell Tomato the Lobster to hurry up a little bit as we go along through tomorrow. We'll be having some more fun live from Moscow with those 4 incredible games, so make sure you join us here at the World of Tanks final battle of 2017. Join in on social media, go to WOTfinals.com. We'll see you live from this Expo Center for day 2 of the final battle tomorrow.